They already gave birth for them before we even got in them. Therefore, Yahweh dealt well with the midwife. You see, so the Most High spared this midwife. The Most High dealt with them good. The Most High spared them. Understand that? The Most High spared them, man. The Most High spared them. The Most High spared them. The Most High spared them. All right? You see, therefore Yahweh dealt well with the midwife, and the people multiplied and was very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwife feared Yahweh, that he made them houses. You see that? He made them houses. You see that? He made them houses. The Most High blessed these midwives. You don't want to be blessed by the Most High? Well, you just want to do evil. You just want to do evil and get destroyed. It's up to you. If your job convincing you to do evil just to make your money, just to build your big houses, you have your big guy, big mansion, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? You're going to get destroyed. Okay? And you and your money be gone. Right? And somebody will take your house. The government will take your house away. All right? And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. There we go. It's nothing new under the sun, man. Nothing new under the sun, right? Let's jump to chapter 2. Exodus chapter 2 and verses 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months, right? Because they were killing all the boys, right? They were killing all the boys. This happened with who? Abraham. Abraham was on the point to be put to death, so the mother had to go hide. Right? The mother got to go hide and give birth unto him in a cave. All right? So the same thing we say with Moses. So Moses' mother got to hide him. Okay? Right? Right? And when she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein. And she laid it in the flags by the river's brink, right? And his sister stood afar off to wait what would be done to him. So, which is what? Miriam. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and had made them walk along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. Right? So this is about Moses. All right, let's jump right here. Right? Let's read. This is a book of let's read from right here. Let's jump right here. Right? So this is the book of Exodus. Right? Chapter 2. Right? Let's jump to verses right here. Right? This is the book of Exodus chapter 2, and I'm going to read from verses 10. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. Right? This is about Masha or Moses. And she called his name Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of the water. Right? All right? Let's jump right here. Okay? Let's jump right here. This is the book of Exodus chapter 2. Right? And verses 14. Right? Actually, I'm going to read a little bit down. Let's see. He said, and it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren. So he went out to his brethren, right, in Egypt, and looked on the burdens. And he spied an Egyptian, like today we spy an American, right, smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. So he saw a heathen smiting, beating one of his brother. And he looked this way and that way. He make sure there's no one coming, right? He look on the left, on the right. Make sure no one coming, right? And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. You see? He put him to death and have to bury him. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together. Brother, our brother fighting. Like you see black on black crimes. Black on black crime, we got to address that. Latino versus Latino. You go to Mexico, Mexican killing Mexican. You go to El Salvador. It's just I saw on the news couple of days ago, there was like some like killing, like over like 20 or 19 people got killed from the gangs again. That means it's starting again. Supposedly, they say Bukele or whatever his name, right? That hidden from a Palestine or wherever he's from. Guess what? They say supposedly no more. Guess what? He's starting again. So the same thing. Black on black crimes, Latino on Latino crimes, man. Black on black crimes, Latino on Latino crimes. Keep in mind. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smartest thou that fellow? Why are you whipping your brother? Why are you trying to kill your brother, man? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? And thinkest thou to kill me as thou killed the Egyptian? You go, oh shoot. How did he know about that? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. So Pharaoh said, I got to kill Moses. I want to kill Moses. So when you're in the truth and you stand for your people, guess what? The government is going to come against you. Babylon the Great is going to come against you. When you stand for your people, literally, you stand for the Israelite that have been oppressed in this land, guess what? The government will come against you, buddy. The government will come against you, whether you believe it or not. Whether you believe it or not. Okay? All right? You see, now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Right? Keep in mind, he sat down by a well. Right? Let's jump right here. This is the book of Ezra chapter 2 and verse 23. And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died. So he died. That king that was trying to kill Moses for killing one Egyptian, he died. The Most High put him to death. Right? Keep in mind. And the children of Israel suffered by reason of the bondage. So they were crying. I thought they were crying. Today, our people, they want to be here forever. They want this weakness to continue. A lot of our people, they love this weakness. They love the oppression that is going on in this kingdom. They love it. They love it. They love that oppression that is going on. They love to be in oppression. They love Babylon the Great. Right? But back in those days, our forefathers, they got what we call common sense. And they hated the oppression they were going through, man. They hated it. They didn't like the oppression they were going through. He said, and the children of Israel suffered by reason of the bondage, and their cry came up unto YAHAWAH by reason of the bondage, man. Man, they were being afflicted horribly, man. They were being afflicted horribly. So the Most High, they cry unto the Most High, man. They cry unto the Most High. Right? They cry unto the Most High. And YAHAWAH heard the groaning. And YAHAWAH remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And YAHAWAH looked upon the children of Israel. And YAHAWAH had respect unto them. So keep in mind. That's what we be telling brothers. Right? That's what we be telling brother and sister. Okay? All right? Let's read this and we're going to jump. This is the book of Exodus chapter 3 and verses 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, right? The priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of YAHAWAH. So Moses, he was keeping the flock. You see, that's what you got to understand, man. David was keeping the flock. Okay? I think is Amos or Hosea, right? Amos or Hosea, they were keeping the flocks, man. David, Solomon, and the list goes on and on. They were keeping the flocks. Moses was keeping the flocks of his father-in-law. Today, you all want to go sit in the office. You think you got a good job. You don't want to raise chicken. You don't want to raise flocks. You don't want to raise the cow. You think, oh, it's dirty. I don't want to be dealing with the poops. Oh, my goodness. This is disgusting. Oh my God. But you want to eat the beef, right? You love to eat beef. You love to eat chicken. And you don't want to have anything to do with you raising them, cleaning after the poops, taking. You don't want to do that, right? He said, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in the flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I would now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, Yahweh called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoe from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the Yahweh of thy father, the Yahweh of Abraham, the Yahweh of Isaac, and the Yahweh of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Yahweh. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt. I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in America. I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Canada. The Most High see the affliction of the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native. We be vexed by your filthy, wicked system. Oh, listen, man. Come on, bro. The Most High see everything, man. Let's read it. Right? So, we're telling you, you out there, you sell out, you coons. Right? A lot of you still got that mindset of that, like that Stockholm Syndrome mindset. You see got that mentality of what? Plantation slave. Let's continue. He said, and the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, which are in America, which are in France, Germany, England, China, and the list goes on and on and on. And have heard the cry by reason of the taskmasters. Taskmaster, supervisor, manager, police officer, right? Congressman, congresswoman, and the list goes on and on and on. For I know their sorrow. What did the Most High say? For I know their sorrow, and I am come down to deliver them. What did the Most High say? And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptian, and to bring them up out of thy land unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. There we go, man. Unto the place of the Canaanite, unto the place of the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptian oppress them. The Moses even seen the oppression wherewith the American, the so-called white people oppress us with. The Most High says it, man. Even though you hide it, you call it classified, right? It's classified document. We don't want, guess what? Our power, YAHAWAH Bahasham Yahawashi, he see everything. You already saw it, man. So you can't hide that. You can't hide it from me. You can't hide it from our people. Guess what? You can't hide it from the Most High. You see? You cannot hide it from the Most High, because the Most High eyes is 1,000 times brighter than the sun. Do you understand that? Who made your eyes? So the Most High who made my eye, your eyes, what make you believe that the Most High does not see? So the Most High ain't see anything? So you just think you behind closed door and you doing whatever you do? The Most High see even you're closed behind door. The eyes of the Most High behold the whole earth. The eyes of the Most High are 1,000 times brighter than the sun. Does the sun see everybody? Yes. That's what the scripture saying. Does the sun of the Most High see everybody, the whole world? Yes, because you can see the light of the sun cover the whole face of the earth. So what does it mean? The eyes of the Most High, 1,000 times more cover the whole earth. So you can't hide from the Most High. That's the good things. That's the good news, Esau. Esau, Edom, that's the good news. That you cannot hide from the Most High. No. You're going to fool who you're going to fool. Right? He said, come now therefore, and I'll send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. That the Most High will bring the children of Israel out of America, out of Canada, out of Mexico, out of Germany, out of France, out of Spain, out of Italy. And Moses said unto Yahweh, who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? Moses like, me? And he says, certainly I will be with thee. The Most High let him, Moses know, I'll be with you. You ain't got to freak out. Don't worry. And this shall be a token